Jayo Shri Krishna
Krishna
Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri
Shri
Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaur
Srivastava
Bhakta Vrinda Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna
Hare Hare Ram 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 Ram.
Ram Ram
Today I am doing in a unique way. I will have a book. You know the folio? Do you have that package folio?
I'm poor in all that. Which
Yeah,
folio?
no, I can send you that. That's a very nice software.
Okay.
ISKCON software, and all the Prabhupada books are in it. So you don't have to make a PowerPoint. Everything is ready, you know. You can mark
Okay.
in it, it sustains. And all the ISKCON devotees use it for preaching. It's very powerful too. I think I shared few times on my this thing how to download it, but I can again give some time. You just
Okay.
today you can see how the software works. Okay.
Okay.
You can see the software.
Yes, Prabhu.
This is called the folio. Now suppose I'll show you. Okay, now let us go to our topic. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Chalo, this is the departure of Lord Krishna for Dvarka. That's our chapter, 10th chapter.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, you can see this is using the folio views. Okay. So in this, everything is comes together. No effort, you know. I just read
Yes,
directly,
Prabhu.
and I kept. You see, I'm just
It's good
made.
to read in the
You see,
sometime. Yeah,
there
it's
are
good to read
three.
in the nights.
Yeah, there are three parts in it. You know, on the top there is bookmark. There is
Yeah.
that note. I can put a note somewhere,
Oh.
some notes corner, and I can highlight anything. And there are some unlimited number of highlighters. I created three, which I
Hmm.
kept using different colors, blue and red. So I can have. I think it's very. The PowerPoint used to take me some, time. It was a waste of time. Simply pasting, cutting, pasting.
Mm-hmm.
Here things are ready. And then what happens, whatever I do, it is permanently here because I use this for my classes. So when I'm
Mm.
taking class in the temple, that highlighting is already there, so I can focus on that point. Okay. Shaunaka Muni asked, after killing his enemies who desired to usurp his rightful inheritance, how did the greatest of all religious men, Maharaj Yudhishthira, assisted by his brothers, rule his subjects? Surely he could not freely enjoy his kingdom with unrestricted consciousness. Yes, Mataji, we continue the sequence, we read the purport and we discuss.
Yes. Maharaj Yudhishthir was the greatest of all men of religion. Thus he was not at all inclined to fight with his cousin for the sake of enjoying the kingdom. He fought for the right cause because the kingdom of Hastinapur was his rightful inheritance, and his cousins wanted to usurp it for themselves. He fought therefore for the right cause under the guidance of Lord Shri Krishna, but he could not enjoy the results of his victory because his cousins were all killed in the fight. He therefore ruled over the kingdom as a matter of duty, assisted by his younger brothers. The inquiry was important for Shaunak Rishi, who wanted to know about the behavior of Maharaj Yudhishthir when he was at ease to enjoy the kingdom.
So Prabhupada says it is fought for the right because it was his rightful inheritance and they want to take it away. How do we understand that? Yes, because his father became the king, so the eldest son, that was the rule. Hai. He is the king. His Dhritarashtra could not become the king, but it's out of the line now because he was blind. You understand, no?
Yes,
Legality, it
yes,
was
Prabhu.
his right. And true, that is a separate issue. He was highly qualified, and people wanted him to rule like even Lord Krishna. He fought, therefore, under the guidance, but he could never feel happy because all his cousins were killed. So, because of that pain, he just ruled as a matter of duty because they're highly developed souls, not the matter for enjoyment. This is the highest platform to do any activity as a duty. If you do any activity as a duty, you become worshipable. Even that's called Sattva. In Tamoguna, we don't do duty. In Rajoguna, we do because of sense gratification. And in Sattva, we do, but only for duty. So it's the highest platform to work. Okay. Yes. Suta Goswami said, Lord Shri Krishna, the Supreme Personality Godhead, the maintainer of the world, became pleased after re-establishing Maharaj Yudhishthira in his own kingdom and after restoring Kuru dynasty, which has been exhausted by the bamboo fire of anger.
This world is compared to a forest fire caused by the cohesion of bamboo bushes. Such a forest fire takes place automatically for the bamboo cohesion occurs without external cause. Similarly, in the material world, the wrath of those who want to lord it over the material nature interacts and the fire of war takes place, exhausting the unwanted population. Such fire or wars take place and the Lord has nothing to do with them. But because he wants to maintain the creation, he desires the mass of people to follow the right path of self-realization, which enables the living beings to enter into kingdom of God. The Lord wants the suffering human beings to come back home, back to Him, and cease to suffer the threefold material pangs. The whole plan of creation is made in that way, and one who doesn't come to his senses suffers in the material world by pangs inflicted by illusory energy of the Lord. The Lord therefore wants his bona fide representative to rule the world. Lord Sri Krishna descended to establish this sort of regime and to kill the unwanted persons who have nothing to do with his plan. The battle of Kurukshetra was fought according to the plan of the Lord, so that the undesirable persons could get out of the world and a peaceful kingdom under his devotees can be established. The Lord was therefore fully satisfied when King Yudhishthir was on the throne and the seedling of the dynasty of Kuru in person of Maharaj in the
Okay.
person of Maharaj Parikshit was saved.
Is it readable? This is as good or the better
Yes,
than
Prabhu.
the. This is better, I think. White and black is easy to read.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Your voice is not very clear today. I don't know. Vamshi Dava Agni, the forest fire set by the bamboo. Is the Vamshi Dava Agni. Okay, it's very. My voice is clear. Is it very clear?
Completely.
Okay, chalo. Sometimes it was not clear. Last times I came to know through my daily classes. I was a little careless, so now I'm keeping the mic near myself. Maharaj Yudhishthira, after being enlightened by what was spoken by Bhishma Deva and Lord Shri Krishna, the infallible, engaged himself in the matters of perfect knowledge because all his misgivings were eradicated. Thus he ruled over the earth and seas and was followed by his younger brothers.
The modern English law of primogeniture or the law of inheritance by the firstborn was also prevalent in those days when Maharaj Yudhishthir ruled the earth. In those days, the king of Hastinapur, now part of New Delhi, was the emperor of the world, including the seas, up to the time of Maharaj Parikshit, the grandson of Maharaj Yudhishthir. Maharaj Yudhishthir's younger brother were acting as the ministers and commanders of the state, and there was full cooperation between the perfectly religious brothers of the king. Maharaj Yudhishthir was the ideal king or representative of Lord Krishna to rule over the kingdom of earth and was comparable to King Indra, the representative ruler of heavenly planets. The demigods like Indra, Chandra, Surya, Varuna, Vayu are representative kings of different planets of universe. Similarly, Maharaj Yudhishthir was also one of them, ruling over the kingdom of earth. Maharaj Yudhishthir was not a typically an unenlightened political leader of modern democracy. Maharaj Yudhishthir was instructed by Bhishma Dev and the infallible Lord also, and therefore he had full knowledge of everything in perfection. The modern elected executive head of a state is just like a puppet because he has no kingly power. Even if he is enlightened like Maharaj Yudhishthira, he cannot do anything out of his own goodwill due to his constitutional position. Therefore, there are so many states over the earth quarreling because of ideological difference or other selfish motives. But a king like Maharaj Yudhishthir has no ideology of his own. He had but to follow the instructions of infallible Lord and the Lord's representative and the authorized agent Bhishma Dev. It is instructed in the Shastra that one should follow the great authority and the infallible Lord without any personal motive and manufactured ideology. Therefore, it was possible for Maharaj Yudhishthir to rule the whole world, including the seas, because the principles were infallible and universally applicable to everyone. The conception of one the conception of one world state can only be fulfilled if we can follow the infallible authority. An imperfect human being cannot create an ideology acceptable to everyone. Only the perfect and infallible can create a program which is applicable at every place and can be followed by all in the world. It is the person who rules and not the impersonal government. If the person is perfect, the government is perfect. If the person is a fool, the government is a fool's paradise. That is the law of nature. There are so many stories of the imperfect kings and executive heads. Therefore, the executive head must be trained like Maharaj Yudhishthir, and he must have full autocratic power to rule over the world. The conception of the world state can take shape only under the regime of a perfect king like Maharaj Yudhishthir. The world was happy in those days because there were kings like Maharaj Yudhishthir to rule over the world.
Now this is purport by Srila Prabhupada, some points. Yellow Maharaj Yudhishthir Prabhupada is taking a dig at the modern day administrator. He's not a typically unenlightened political leader. Seeing the situation, and situation has not changed. Prabhupada has spoken all this purport more than 50 years ago. Okay, this is before ISKCON was formed. ISKCON 50th year, they have some celebration in your country.
Yes, Prabhu.
Because the same way, so 50 years are almost over, and Prabhupada wrote all this much before he went to America. Okay, this is the early part of the Bhagavatam. So around 60 years ago, situation is same, typically unenlightened. Child has got a
No, Prabhu, I was just putting she's fine.
Okay. So the modern elected executive head of the state is just like a puppet, because this is very interesting. Even if somebody wants to do something, he can't do, because we have created something called a constitution, a whimsical constitution. Everything the court can check them. Previously, king was the court, king was the law, king was everything. Now you have court is separate, the government is separate, the press is separate. All three were one. Even the king used to issue statement, that is the press. You know, that the press means they will beat the drums in the market and the message will be announced. So that is press. And then king was everything together. So full. But then we should have a proper as a trained person. Must be a trained person like Maharaj Yudhishthira, and then give him all the autonomy, autocratic power to rule. Proper, that is the way to run the world. He is not happy with the present day, some kind of a stopgap arrangement.
Won't be
So
possible
Prabhupada,
in Kali Yuga.
yeah, Prabhupada wants it, so maybe it will come. But Prabhupada said now there is democracy, so we cannot usurp the democracy. We don't have the power to change. Correct. So we have to participate in the democracy. Means then Prabhupada said you have to make everybody a devotee,
Mm.
so that because they are going to elect the ruler. It's very important who is the ruler for Krishna conscious preaching. Correct. If he's favorable, he can give you land in Australia, and he can make a beautiful temple, gift you a temple. Just like previously, the kings used to make the temples. No, there was not sadhus did not have to bother did not have to bother about that. The kings used to take care of it. Correct.
Yes,
All the
Prabhu.
temples, big temples. But today, where the government has become so-called secular and it is not interested. Rather, I had to wanted to make a temple in Mangalore. We had so much difficulty, so much difficulty. The rules are so bad, so difficult. I used to joke that time that you can easy to open a bar and then make a temple.
True.
Yeah, you don't get
Yes.
license. They put so many.
Council regulations are here as well. Crazy.
Yeah, here also they have problems.
Yes, that they can. What shall I say?
They can
They,
easily spoil, no, the people. And they ask the
council.
neighbors.
They keep
Yeah,
changing
they
the
can ask the
regulations as
neighbors, is
well.
it fine with you? Do you allow a
Mm.
temple to come up?
Mm.
And they can put an objection, and the majority puts an objection, is stuck. They cannot move it. So then in America also some temples a lot of difficulties to get license. Then they got through. In India, many ISKCON temples don't have a license or temple at all. And they just like take a temple of a residence, a license of a residence, and they're operating like a temple. But any day you can get into trouble, because as the
Mm.
things go.
Mm.
So then you may be forced to close the operation. So
Mm.
it's anyway. So the point is that the government is not understanding its responsibility. The proper says that we should have a trained person like Maharaj Yudhishthira. If you go to him, he will say, "Oh my God, you want to make a Krishna temple? I'll make it for you. Don't worry." then we can come back, sit and chant Hare Krishna, and then occupy when the temple is ready. You know, chalo. But anyway, Krishna is all powerful, nothing to worry. So the Prabhupada has taken a dig as a normal, typically unenlightened political leader of modern democracy. He has watched, he had taken a snapshot of his night 60 years ago, and it does not, situation has not changed even today. Not changed. Okay. Oh, this is the famous verse. Kamam vavarsha parjanyaha
कामं ववर्ष पर्जन्या
sarva kama dugamahi
सर्वकामदुदामहि
shishuchusma vrajangavaha
शिशुचुः स्वव्रजान् गावः
payaso dhavatir muda.
पयसोधस्वतीर्मुदा.
Daswati Muda. During the reign of Maharaj Yudhishthira, the cloud showered all the water the people needed, and earth produced all the necessities of man in profusion. Due to his fatty bag and cheerful attitude, the cow used to moisten the grazing ground with milk. Let me just pull it up. It's a beautiful purpose, very sweet. Yeah.
The basic principle of economic development is centered on land and cows. The necessity of human society are food, grains, fruits, milk, minerals, clothing, wood, etc. One requires all these items to fulfill the material needs of the body. Certainly one does not require flesh or fish or iron tools or machinery. During the regime of Maharaj Yudhishthira, all over the world there were regulated rainfalls. Rainfalls are not in the control of human being. The heavenly king Indradev is the controller of rains and he is servant of the Lord. When the Lord is obeyed by the king and the people under the king's administration, there are regulated rains from the horizon, and these rains are the cause of all varieties of production of the land. Not only do regulated rains help ample production of grains and fruits, but when they combine with astronomical influences, there is ample production of valuable stones and pearls. Grains and vegetables can sumptuously feed a man and animals, and a fatty cow delivers enough milk to supply a man sumptuously with vigor and vitality. If there is enough milk, enough grains, enough fruit, enough cotton, enough silk, and enough jewels, then why do people need cinemas, house of prostitution, slaughterhouse, etc.? What is the need of artificial luxurious life of cinema, cars, radio, flesh, and hotels? Has the civilization produced anything but the quarreling individually or nationally? Has the civilization enhanced the cause of equality or fraternity by sending thousands of men into a hellish factory and the war fields at the whims of a particular man? It is said here that the cows used to moisten the pasturing land with milk because the milk bags were fatty and the animals joyful. Do they not require therefore proper protection for a joyful life, for being fed with a sufficient quantity of grass in the field? Why should men kill cows for this selfish purpose? Why should not why should man not be satisfied with grains, fruits, and milk, which combined together can produce hundreds and thousands of palatable dishes? Why are there slaughterhouses all over the world to kill innocent animals? Maharaj Parikshit, grandson of Maharaj Yudhishthir, while touring his vast kingdom, saw a black man attempting to kill a cow. The king at once arrested the butcher and chastised him sufficiently. Should not a king or executive head protect the lives of the poor animals who are unable to defend themselves? Is this humanity? Are not the animals of a country citizens also? Then why are they allowed to be butchered in organized slaughterhouses? Are these the signs of equality, fraternity, and non-violence? Therefore, in contrast with the modern, advanced, civilized form of government, an autocracy like Maharaj Yudhishthir's is by far superior to so-called democracy, in which animals are killed and a man less than an animal is allowed to cast votes for another less than an animal man. We are all creatures of material nature. In Bhagavad Gita, it is said, the Lord himself is the seed-giving father. Seed-giving father, and material nature is the mother of all living beings in all shape. Thus, Mother Material Nature has enough foodstuff both for animals and for men by the grace of Father Almighty Shri Krishna. The human being is the elder brother of all the living beings. He is endowed with intelligence more powerful than animals for realizing the course of nature and the indications of Almighty Father. Human civilization should depend on the production of material nature without artificially attempting economic development to turn the world into chaos of artificial greed, and power only for the purpose of artificial luxuries and sense gratification. This is but the life of dogs and hogs. Prabhu, your mic is muted.
Thanks. I had put a note. You can see here, but the note when I click, you can't see. I can see. I had written the every word of the purport is so touching here. Okay, this is basically Prabhupada has spoken against this, cruelty done to the animals. And this purport is express his heart out. He's in Vrindavan, but he knows the reality. He's seeing. Prabhupada this again and again in this word, speaking his heart out. He says, "Why are you torturing these animals?" For a pure saint like Prabhupada, definitely it's very painful to see the living entities as given so much difficulty. There were so many times the devotees reported Prabhupada used to be very, very sensitive. He used to see an insect, he used to say, poor fellow must be starving, giving something to eat. Even the servants are noticed. Prabhupada was even sympathetic and merciful, even to small insects in his room. He used to be very sympathetic. That's the nature of an exalted Acharya. So certainly Prabhupada is saying what does not require flesh or fish, fish, why iron and machinery, why we need all this? And he's saying all this anyway, material needs. Actually, you depend on the land and cows. Basic principle of economic development is land and cows. That is the Vedic culture. So not only to the regulated rains, they give you all this material wealth. This is Vedic science not understood today. It says when they combine with astronomical influence, there is ample production of valuable stones and pearls. We don't know about this, but because it is said in the scriptures, it is perfect. And how much we are happy. Prabhupada holds to every word of the scripture as fact. Correct? He is representing the Vedic knowledge. He's an Acharya of Vedic knowledge. And nobody compares to him. Modern society who holds to every word of the scripture as fact. Prabhupada told the devotees, please prove to the modern scientists, how the eclipse happened by Rahu, not by the way they are saying. It really needs this full faith in the scripture because today we can't understand that. And I was asking one scientist devotee, I told about the Rasraj Prabhu.
No, Prabhu.
Yeah, he's a head of BI now. So he was telling, no, even as scientists, we agree the one phenomena can be explained by many ways. And each way we are getting result from many ways, but we don't know which is the absolute way. So what Vedic way is always the absolute. So just like, gravity can explain in so many ways, by classical physics, by relativity, so many ways. But say it solves. So similarly, plant situations, they can explain in a Vedic way. And the Brahmanas, so, and they also get the result. I'll try to. Hare Krishna, Rajesh. You, yeah, you want to join us? I'll send you now. I will send you now. What is your email ID? Just speak it again. At Raj, Rajesh Shankar. Actually there, I think I'll just try. Mataji, somebody wants to join us.
Yes,
I think
Prabhu.
you remember him, Rajesh, who joined us a couple of times.
Last time.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, good. We got a company, Rajesh.
Sorry, Prabhu, I got delayed.
Yeah, yeah. Good. We will meet you on Thursday. Okay.
Yes, Prabhu. Sure.
Yeah, you can hear us now? Clear? Can you
Clear,
see?
clear, clear. Loud and clear.
Okay. Can you see the screen now?
Yes, yes, it's clear.
Okay, we have come not much. We have just come little. We just started. We were waiting for you to join actually.
नहीं प्रभु I
This is
sorry
the
I was in a call.
no. Okay, this is fourth only. We are in the fourth verse. Okay, I saw
जी
you were on some call and I was calling.
yes, yes. नहीं नहीं
Okay. Chalo. So now this is at this point we had the Prabhupada pouring his heart out how the animals are getting tortured, and we can see a soft-hearted man. Pure devotees are very soft in heart. Must be feeling how much pain, how the animals are getting slaughtered, particularly the cows. Correct. So here Prabhupada
yeah.
talks against it in this purport because it's saying that during the reign of Maharaj Yudhishthira, the nature of supplying everything. Oh my God. Just give me 1 minute. Hare Krishna. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Nagendra, I'll call you in 1 hour time. I think we met each other, no? That time. Yeah. I'll call you after 1 hour. I'm in a video conference class. I'll call you. Okay. Hare Krishna. Okay, sorry. Now what happened? Is the voice clear, Rajesh?
Loud and clear प्रभु.
Huh? Very clear?
Very clear, very clear.
Okay, thanks. And just keep a watch on the voice. Because if you glorify me, then we become, it says when you flatter somebody, he becomes spoiled. Then I
नहीं
become
नहीं
neglectful of the mic and it was getting spoiled.
no
So
no no
this is very unique revolution. So Prabhupada is saying due to the fatty milk bag and the cheerful attitude, the cows used to moisten the grazing ground with milk. In fact, Prabhupada many times said that in the ISKCON farms, the cows are giving so much milk because they know nobody will slaughter them, Anna? And they are so happy. Okay, and Prabhupada says when he went to America, he saw tears in the eyes of cows. He noticed that because their calf was slaughtered in front of them. So how can they? They're also living. And there's some videos I even got. I don't know whether you saw them. Once one calf was recently the calf was separated from the mother, and then somebody rescued the calf and brought back to the mother. And the calf could hardly walk when it was brought back because it was hungry and starving for a good time, and in front of the mother it came and just collapsed, and how the mother was licking him all over. So that showed the video and showed animals love so much and you're giving them so much pain. Very nice actually. Certainly one does not require flesh, fish, because nature is giving so many gifts. Actually we have been saved from a hellish life, could not even understand this common sense. We talk about scientific advancement, could not even understand this common sense that we don't require all this artificial. Prabhupada said definitely also you don't require iron tools and machinery. It's all Ugra Karma civilization. Not only do regulated rains help ample production, but Prabhupada says something which is revelatory, which modern science or civilization does not know. When rains combine with astronomical inferences, there is ample production of valuable stones and pearls. This is not known. Okay, na? And why do Prabhupada says, why do we need, when we have milk grains, why do we need the cinemas, prostitution, slaughterhouses? What is the need of an artificial luxurious life of cinema, cars, radio, flesh, and hotels? This is a modern civilization. Should not a king or executive head protect the lives of the poor animals who are unable to defend themselves? Because they are very innocent, they cannot defend themselves. So shouldn't the king protect them? Prabhupada is saying, last, is this humanity? And then very strong point, why are they allowed to be butchered in organized slaughterhouses? Why? Why is government not doing anything? And ours is a science of equality. Everybody talks about equality, fraternity. What is this equality, fraternity, and non-violence? You're slaughtering animals and you say this is equality, fraternity, we are following non-violence. Then Prabhupada continues, the Lord is the seed-giving father, material nature is the mother of all the living beings. Therefore, Prabhupada says, just like a father, mother at home supply all the necessities, everything is being supplied by the grace of the Father, Almighty Shri Krishna. And he says human beings cannot torture because they're the elder brother. Elder brother, you can say God is, they have a statement in Bible, maybe Quran also, that God has given the animals to man. Correct. The Prabhupada said, fine, but not for torturing, for taking care. When a father says take charge of a younger brother, doesn't mean you torture him or kill him. It means you take care of him, be responsible. He's endowed with much more powerful intelligence, okay, to understand if we should use the course of the Almighty Father. So human civilization depend on the production of material nature without artificially attempting economic development to turn the world into chaos for art. Actually, every word in this purport is nice. Okay, I was rather repeating the purport 2 times. And then Prabhupada says at the last, this is but the life of dogs and hawks. Mataji, we take the reverse role. You read the translation, I read the purport.
Yes, Prabhu.
Because I'm explaining, going every line again. Yeah.
Rajesh Prabhu can read the
Rajesh,
translation.
you read the translation, I read the purport.
Yes,
Yeah.
Prabhu.
Hi, Rajesh, remember I installed Folio in your place?
All that got wiped out, Prabhu. Recently I had to go and reset my iPad. There was some issue, it was crashing. So all that got wiped out. In fact, I got delayed because even the Hangout had not downloaded that. So, I had to go back and download it.
Take it, no problem. I'll come again and install you.
Yes, Prabhu. Okay, I read.
Yeah.
Yes, Prabhu.
You read the translation. Yeah.
Yes, I would do that. But the text is not there on the screen.
Oh, it's still not come.
No.
Chalo, I'll read both, don't worry. The
No,
reverse ocean.
now
It has come? Yeah.
I can see it, Prabhu. Yes, I can read. Again, it went off.
How, how it is possible? It's not holding, it is going.
It went off.
Mataji, it is holding,
Staying.
no?
Yes.
Huh?
It is holding. Staying
Holding.
here.
I think his internet connection is weak.
Hmm.
Rajesh,
Ah,
you can hear us, no?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. We continue with that. And this we can read. Mataji, you read the translation then.
The rivers, oceans, hills, mountains, forests, creepers, and active drugs in every season paid their tax quota to the king in profusion.
Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Since Maharaj Yudhishthira under the protection of Ajita, the infallible Lord, as above mentioned, the properties of the Lord, namely rivers, oceans, hills, forests, etc., were all pleased, and they used to supply their respective quota of taxes to the king. The secret to success is to take refuge under the protection of the Supreme Lord. Without his sanction, nothing can be possible. To make economic development by our own endeavor on the strength of tools and machinery is not all. Prabhupada does not at all accept this process of modern civilization. The sanction of the Supreme Lord must be there. Otherwise, despite all instrumental arrangement, everything will be unsuccessful. The ultimate cause of success is Daiva, the Supreme. Kings like Maharaj Yudhishthira knew perfectly well that the king is the agent of the Supreme Lord to look after the welfare of the mass of people. Actually, the state belongs to the Supreme Lord. Very interesting. The rivers, ocean, forest, still, drugs, etc. are not creations of man. They're all creations of the Supreme Lord. And the living being is allowed to make use of the property of the Lord for the service of the Lord. Today's slogan is that everything is for the people, therefore the government is for the people and by the people. To produce a new species of humanity at the present moment on the basis of God consciousness and the perfection of human life, the ideology of godly communalism, the world has to again follow in the footsteps of the king like Maharaj Yudhishthira Parikshit. There is enough of everything by the will of the Lord, and we can make proper use of things to live comfortably without enmity between men or animals and man and nature. Okay, this is a very important point because no species there is starvation. God has already provided. Nature is mother, Krishna is father. Everything has been provided. Only thing is that we were living an artificial life. So therefore we need to do all this tools and industry. It's like birds, everything is provided. Just to go to the top of the tree, fruit is ready. So food is ready by the arrangement of the Lord. Little effort is needed, not so much. What modern civilization is doing is unwanted, it's not needed. And then a very famous line, the control of the Lord is everywhere. And if the Lord is pleased, every part of the nature will be pleased. So nature will very happily maintain us if we follow the Lord. The river will flow profusely to fertilize the land. It's not in your control. Ocean will supply sufficient quantities of minerals. Again, not in your control. Pearls and jewels. Forest will supply sufficient wood, drugs, and vegetables. And the seasonal changes will effectively help produce fruits and flowers in profuse quantity. And today doctors, we make medicines, the concentrated chemicals, and actually naturally there are drugs in the forest naturally. Therefore, jadi booty they call, Ayurvedic doctors as such. The artificial way of living depends on the factories and tools can render a so-called happiness only to a limited number of people at the cost of millions. So it's not very all embracing, it just comforts a few people. Since the energy of the mass of people is engaged in factory which proposes living hells, the natural products are being hampered. Because recently there was calculation that people from the village are reducing 10%, 20%, 30% every decade. But where are they going? They are the ones in the cities and rotting in the slums actually. So their situation did not change. They were basically cheated to come out of the villages and live in slums. Since the energy of the mass of people is engaged in factory production, the natural products are being hampered, and for this the mass is unhappy. Without being educated properly, the mass of people are following in the footsteps of the vested interest by exploiting nature's reason. Therefore, there is acute competition, individual, nation. There is no control by the trained agents of the Lord. We must look into the defects of the modern civilization comparison here, and should follow in the footsteps of the Maharaj Yudhishthira to cleanse man and wipe out anachronism. Anybody knows what is anachronism?
Not me. No, Prabhu. Sorry.
No, nobody knows.
I put 4 of them to look in the dictionary.
Oh, you had searched for this word?
It's supposed to, but then I slept yesterday.
Anachronism,
I'm just looking it.
Wikipedia.
Anachronism is a chronological.
Yeah, same thing. I'm seeing Wikipedia. Is a chronological inconsistency in some arrangements, especially a juxtaposition of a person, events of the object misplaced in time. Philosophical some inconsistency.
Yeah.
Something anachronism, something wrong, Hannah?
The most common type of anachronism is an object misplaced in time.
Okay, object misplaced in time. Now let us try to understand over here. Wipe out. Okay. So anyway, anachronism means some tamasha, to wipe out all the tamasha. You can keep studying. But generally Prabhupada doesn't use tough words. This is actually he's a great scholar.
I have to use 6 or 7 times take look at the dictionary. His English is too good.
In this area. I think he had his guru's Bhagavatam with near him.
Okay.
You read Brahma Samhita, all words, every line you need a dictionary. It's like very tough. Yes, you've seen that book, Rajesh?
No, Prabhu.
Rajesh?
No, Prabhu. No, I have
You
not
not
seen
read
that.
Brahma Samhita till now.
You downloaded it for me last time,
Yeah.
but I've just started reading it.
Yeah. So it is a bit tough, Bhaktivinoda Prabhupada was a big scholar in English and Sanskrit and Bengali, scholar in all the languages. So it is tough to, maybe this word he got from this. Prabhupada also was a great scholar, but generally he kept himself simple because he knew he's dealing with a very, very simple audience, so kept things simple. Actually, that's a Prabhupada's mantra: keep things simple. Don't make a philosophy complicated. People they are suffering so much, and you speak big jargon. It's not going to benefit. Because of the kings having no enemy, they live. Okay, this was for Mataji. Yeah. Hey Rajesh, you're able to read now?
I can read now.
Yeah, okay.
Only when you're speaking I'm able to read, but when you stop speaking it goes off.
Okay, interesting.
That's quite funny.
Yeah. Now it's off.
It's on, Prabhu.
Okay. Yeah.
Now it's gone. Now it's come.
No problem. I'll read. Because of the kings having no enemy, the living beings were not at any time disturbed by mental agonies, diseases, or excessive heat or cold. Yes, Mataji, you read the purport then.
Rajesh Prabhu wants to.
Rajesh, are you able to see? No, he sees this only when I'm reading.
Only when you speak I'm able to see.
Yeah, because that is my
Sorry,
screen.
Mataji, I'm not able to see this.
Okay. I will read it then. To be non-violent to the human beings and to be killer or enemy to the poor animals is Saturn's philosophy. Correct? There's many people talk about, we should help other people, but why they eat meat then? Now, how does it make a sense? It's contradictory. Non-violence means non-violent even to the animals. In this age, there is enmity. Even Gandhi was approached. So why you don't tell Muslims to stop eating beef? And Gandhi is such foolish person. He said that no, it is their dharma to eat beef. Just imagine, no knowledge of spiritual science. They become leaders. In this age, there is enmity toward poor animals, and therefore poor creatures are always anxious. Prabhupada is saying so affectionately. They are always in anxiety because there is so much cruelty to them, so much cruelty and enmity toward them. The reaction of the poor animal is forced on human society, and Prabhupada, the reaction comes back. Suppose I take a small, poor, innocent goat and I slaughter him, and he cries and writhing, and I think nobody has noticed because even law will not do anything to you. You can get away. But wait a moment, sir. Now wait for the tamasha. The laws of karma will hit you so hard you cannot bear. The reaction of the poor animal is forced on human society, and therefore there is always strain of cold and hot war between men, individual, collectively. So we see so many wars are happening in the world. Who is asking for them? Going on. Because karma is taking people to task. At the time of Maharaj Yudhishthira, there were no different nations, although there were different subordinate states. There was one nation. The whole world was united. A supreme head, being a trained king like Yudhishthira, kept all the inhabitants free from anxiety, disease, and excessive heat and cold. The nature also supports when the king is very nice. They were not only economically well-to-do, but also physically fit and undisturbed by the supernatural power, by enmity from other living being, and disturbance of bodily and mental agonies. Everything is peaceful. There is a proverb in Bengali that a bad king spoils the kingdom and bad housewife spoils the family. So king can spoil the whole kingdom. The truth is applicable here also because the king is pious and obedient to the Lord and the sages. Because they were no one's enemy, because he was a recognized agent of the Lord, therefore protected by him, all the citizens under the king's protection was, so to speak, directly protected by the Lord and his authorized agent. You know the story that Krishna's time, somebody came to the Krishna that my child has died before me. Rajesh, you heard that? He protested in front of Krishna's palace, how it is happening. And there is
No,
Krishna.
Prabhu, I've not heard
Mataji, you
this.
read about the story? Somebody
No,
came to
Prabhu.
see, the point is the king is virtuous, nothing abnormal can happen. We can see here also Prabhupada is saying, certifying. Nothing abnormal will happen. So Krishna's time what happened, something abnormal happened. A king's son died, one person, a citizen's son died before he was born and he died. So he came in front of Krishna and he shouted that you must be doing something wrong, otherwise this should not happen. So at that time Arjuna was there. So Arjuna said, when your next child is born, he could not bear the insult to Krishna. So, and he said, why are you saying like that? He's the Supreme Lord. Why you say? He said, whatever to say, what I have to say, look at this, my child has died, he's just born. So, and that not only they were getting dead, they were disappearing also.
Hmm.
Something, you must have heard that. Arjuna
Yes,
goes
yes.
to see the Mahavishnu then, correct?
Hmm.
The next time Arjuna is standing there with his Gandiva, and again this not only
Yes.
and his arrows also disappear. Not only the child disappeared, his arrows also disappear. Now he is in dilemma, and he has promised, if I cannot protect the child, I'll burn myself. I'll take Agni Samadhi. So Arjuna lights a fire like he did in the Mahabharata war also. I'll kill myself. Abhimanyu death time. Okay? So at that time, what happened that. Krishna came and he says, why you are so worked up? We will solve this. He said, what is the solution, Krishna? I have gone throughout the universe. I know I have the power to go. There is nowhere this child. Even Yamaraja doesn't know about it. Where it has gone. Throughout the universe, it is not there anywhere. So Krishna says, I know where it is. So Krishna called for a special chariot and they went and they crossed the boundary of the universe with the chariot, and Mahavishnu had all the children. And he said he did all this drama because he was eager to see Krishna. Krishna is so beautiful. I just wanted to have a darshan. So funny. So it's like that. So king is pious, so nothing abnormal should happen. Now today you get suppose fever and all, you should go and shout at Yudhirappa, what nonsense, what are you doing? I'm getting fever. You must be doing something sinful. And you openly say, I don't believe in God. Because of that I'm having all the problems. Unless, yeah, it's true, when you're very virtuous, you bring you bring blessing a lot to the whole place. Correct? Suppose the great devotee of the Lord lands up in a place, whole country is blessed. Just like Prabhupada says, and person like God, Krishna, Babaji, two Babajis in a parampara, they're authorized Babaji. There are so many bogus Babajis in Vrindavan. But authorized Babajis are very rare. They are actually pure devotees and they are so much in samadhi that when they chant, it is so much pleases Krishna they're chanting. With the chanting out of love, Krishna says, just do that, just do that. So they don't go out and preach, they just chant. The Krishna inspires them, just chant. So Prabhupada says just by the chanting, they bring the attention of Krishna and it blesses the whole universe, you know. Krishna is watching with so much love. And Krishna notices somewhere means you're blessed. Correct? That's why you go for temple to the darshan. You may not see the Lord, but the Lord is seeing you and you get blessed. Because Krishna is only well-wishing. So if Krishna attention is brought to the planet, to the country, to the city, if the pure devotee is present there. Okay, so nice. And same way a sinful soul can bring inauspicience everywhere. That's there, you know, Krishna Leela, where Krishna destroyed the city of Kashi, Sudarshan Chakra. There was a demon who wanted to attack Krishna, and he created a. He went and sat in Kashi with the help of Brahmanas, created a powerful Rakshasa, which went to Dvarka to attack. And Krishna was busy, I think, playing with the children. So he told the Sudarshana, please take care, I'll play with my children. So Sudarshana destroyed that powerful demon and proceeded to city of Kashi and killed all the people there and burned the whole city. So Prabhupada says there, inauspicious acts spoils the whole, you may, you know, bring inauspiciousness to the whole city, like that. Unless one is pious, and this is a very famous line, unless one is pious and recognized by the Lord, he cannot make others happy who are under his care. Correct? Rajesh, can you
Yes,
note the
Prabhu.
line? It's a beautiful
Yes,
line.
Prabhu.
Unless one is pious and recognized by the Lord, he cannot, because he cannot make anybody happy. Happiness is transcendental phenomena. So you to deliver that, Krishna Shakti vina na hoye parivartana. Without Krishna's blessing, you cannot do anything. Okay, unless one is pious and recognized by the Lord. There is a full cooperation in man and God and the man and nature, and this conscious cooperation between man and God and man and nature are exemplified by King Yudhishthira. As example, King Yudhishthira can bring about happiness, peace, and prosperity in the world. The attitude of exploiting one another, the custom of the day, will only bring misery. I'm tired speaking.
Prabhu, now I can read. You know, the problem was with at my end. The reason being I had not switched on the camera. Sorry,
Okay.
Prabhu. Now I can read.
Okay. Shri Hari, Lord Shri Krishna, resided at Hastinapur for a few months to pacify his relatives and please his own sister Subhadra. Now you read the purport.
Yes, Prabhu. Krishna was to start for. It went off.
I will read.
Sorry.
Krishna was to start for Dvarka, his own kingdom, after the battle of Kurukshetra and Yudhishthira's being enthroned, but to oblige the request of Maharaj Yudhishthir and to show special mercy to Bhishmadev, Lord Krishna stopped at Hastinapur, the capital of Pandavas. The Lord decided to stay especially to pacify the aggrieved king as well as to please Subhadra, sister of Lord Shri Krishna. Subhadra was especially to be pacified because she lost her only son Abhimanyu, who was just married. The boy left his wife Uttara, mother of Maharaj Parikshit. The Lord is always pleased to satisfy his devotees in any capacity. Only his devotees can play the part of his relative. The Lord is absolute.
So Krishna stayed after the war for some time. He gave special mercy to Bhishma Deva. You know that they, yeah, last time I was seeing the sequence, Mataji. There is some work done by some devotees. I saw it is on Hindu net. Okay, some people who are scholars have done date by date what happened, which date war happened, which date this, which date had. So after the war, they did go back to Hastinapur and then they came back. They met Bhishma and then they went back to the kingdom and then they came back and they were explaining, no, there is Bhishma Panchaka, everything they have date by date they have calculated. In fact, they say they have got exact date. The February this date, everything of the day. But just because Bhagavatam keeps mentioning or Mahabharata keeps mentioning, it was of the fifth day of the moon or this way it says. And then there is alignment of the stars is spoken few times. So by that correlating, they sat and researched, and I told the exact date things happen. So anyway, he blessed the Bhishma also. He stopped at Hastinapur, capital of the Pandavas. Because Subhadra was very pained because Abhimanyu has died. What is the age of Abhimanyu? They have that calculation also. Everything when he died.
16 years.
When he died in the war?
Yes, only 16-year-old. That's what I heard.
The Lord is always pleased satisfied to go to any capacity. That time, people used to live for more age.
I read 124 years, some months Krishna lived.
Krishna lived, yeah,
124
120,
years.
yeah, 124, like that. Krishna lived for that time. I think Yudhishthira Maharaj is the elder to Krishna.
Hmm.
Elder to Krishna is Bhima. Elder to him is Yudhishthira. So something like 3-4 years of
Bhima and
difference.
Arjuna were same. King Yudhishthira was older, and Nakul Sadev was like younger
Yeah,
brother.
no, that is rough. That is Bhima Arjuna, rough. But
Hmm.
actually, Bhima is elder to Krishna by say one and a
Okay.
half. Same is almost same. And Yudhishthira was much elder, another 1.5 years. So Yudhishthira he always paid respect. Bhima, Arjuna he embraced,
Hmm.
correct? Almost in
Hmm.
the same
Hmm.
age. And Nakul Sahadeva were younger. So like that. So I think Yudhishthira Maharaj was there till 129 years, something like that.
Hmm.
He came 4-5 years more than Krishna,
Hmm.
something. They have all the calculation. You can research. It is interesting to see. And the time of the war, there are something like 80, 90-year-old. They're all very old. But by today's standard old, but at that time people were living more, so it's not old. Today imagine an 80, 90-year-old goes to fight, really funny. Lord is always pleased to satisfy his devotees in any capacity. Afterwards, when the Lord asked permission to depart and the king gave it, the Lord offered his respect to Maharaj Yudhishthira by bowing down at his feet, and the king embraced him. After this, the Lord, being embraced by others and receiving their obeisances, got into his chariot.
Maharaj Yudhishthir was the elder cousin of Lord Krishna, and therefore while departing from him, the Lord bowed down at king's feet. The king embraced him as a younger brother, although the king knew perfectly well that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. The Lord takes pleasure when some of his devotees accept him as less important in terms of love. No one is greater than or equal to the Lord, but he takes pleasure in being treated as younger than his devotees. These are all transcendental pastimes of the Lord. The impersonalists cannot enter into the supernatural roles played by the devotees of the Lord. There, Thereafter, Bhima and Arjuna embraced the Lord because they were of same age, but Nakula and Sahadev bowed down before the Lord because they were younger than he.
Okay. So you got it from here. They are the same age,
Yes.
correct? Anyway, so now Krishna loves to be taken care by pure devotees. Prabhupada says what the impersonalists can understand. No? They cannot enter into this area at all. They can't understand this sweet dealings. At that time, Subhadra, Draupadi, Kunti, Uttara, Gandhari, Dhritarashtra, Yuyusu, Kripacharya, Nakula, Sahadeva, Bhimasena, Dhaumya, Satyavati, all nearly fainted because it was impossible for them to be a separation from Lord Krishna.
Lord Shri Krishna is so attractive for the living beings, especially for the devotees, that it is impossible for them to tolerate separation. The conditioned souls under the spell of illusory energy forgets the Lord, otherwise he cannot. The feeling of such separation cannot be described, but it can simply be imagined by devotees only. After his separation from Vrindavan and the after his separation from Vrindavan, and the innocent rural cowherd boys, girls, ladies, and others, they all felt shock throughout their lives. And the separation of Radha Rani, the most beloved cowherd girl, is beyond expression. Once they met at Kurukshetra during a solar eclipse, and the feeling which was expressed by him is heart-rending. There is, of course, a difference in the qualities of transcendental devotees of the Lord, but none of them who have ever contacted the Lord by direct communion or otherwise can leave him for a moment. That is the attitude of the pure devotee.
So these are all purports, like every line is, every word is important, We can't describe. In fact, I think you can't see. When I click on this, you cannot see. Can you see?
No problem.
No.
Oh, good, it's for me. I just wrote every word in nectar. Srila Prabhupada, thank you for bringing us here. Okay, every word, We can't understand. We know this is the heart of Srila Prabhupada. For him, it's natural. Prabhupada said this purports are my transcendental ecstasies. For him, it is just expressing what is natural. For a pure devotee, Prabhupada said, if you contact Krishna to any way once, then you cannot leave him. For a moment, you cannot leave. We read no previously Naradas, when Narada saw Krishna, and then when Krishna
Hmm.
disappeared, Paramatma disappeared, he was crying and crying, correct? A similar thing Prabhupada said there. What you're searching life after life, if you see him once, you can't leave him. And this gopis feeling heart-rending, we can appreciate, but we have no idea to enter that realm. When Rupa Goswami, Sri Chaitanya Manovishtam Sapitamarayena Bhutale, Rupa Goswami could understand the mind of Lord Chaitanya, because Lord Chaitanya was always in the separation of Radharani and Krishna, correct? Constantly feeling separation of Krishna as Radharani. That is Lord Chaitanya's attitude. So he could understand that, and he gave various verses, and Chaitanya was shocked. How can he know is my mind? Therefore, this prayer to Rupa Goswami there, Sri Chaitanya Manovishtam. You could understand the desire and the heart of Lord Chaitanya. So we have to get blessings of Krishna to be able to understand this. This is the most confidential realm, separation of the Lord. Prabhupada says in Krishna book, a bona fide spiritual master, not an ordinary one, a bona fide, the Paramahamsa Acharya. He lifts his disciple to come to this platform, feeling separation from Krishna. Now I stopped after that marking because every word was sweet. The intelligent who have understood the Supreme Lord in association with pure devotees have become freed from bad material association, can never avoid hearing the glories of the Lord, even they have only heard it once, even though they have heard them only once. How then could the Pandavas tolerate his separation, for they have been intimately associated with this person, seeing him face to face and touching him, conversing with him, sleeping, sitting and dining with him? Yes, Mataji.
The living being's constitutional position is one of serving a superior. He is obliged to serve by force the dictates of illusory material energy in different phases of sense gratification, and in serving the senses he is never tired. Even though he may be tired, the illusory energy perpetually forces him to do so without being satisfied. There is no end to such sense gratificatory business, and the conditioned soul becomes entangled in such servitude without hope of release. The release is only effected by the association with pure devotees. By such association, one is gradually promoted to his transcendental consciousness. Thus he can know that his eternal position is to render service unto the Lord, and not to the perverted senses in the capacity of lust, desire to lord it over, etc. Material society, friendship, and love are all different phases of lust. Home, country, family, society, wealth, and all sorts of corollaries are all causes of bondage in the material world, where the threefold miseries of life are concomitant factors. By associating with pure devotees and by hearing them submissively, attachment for material enjoyment becomes slackened, and the attraction for hearing about the transcendental activities of the Lord become prominent. Once they will go on progressively without stoppage, like fire in the gunpowder. It is said that Hari, the personality of Godhead, is so transcendently attractive that even those who are self-satisfied is by self-realization and are factually liberated from material bondage also become the devotees of the Lord. Under the circumstances, it is easily understood what must have been the position of Pandavas, who were constant companions of the Lord. They could not even think of separation from Sri Krishna, since the attraction was more intense for them because of continuous personal contact. His remembrance by his form, quality, name, fame, pastime, etc. is also attractive for the pure devotees. So much so that he forget all the form, quality, name, fame, and activities of the mundane world. And due to his mature association with pure devotees, he is not out of contact with the Lord for a moment.
This purport, when I read, I said, what to mark, what not to mark. So I just left it. It doesn't look good. So this is very beautiful purport. Again, Prabhupada says our life is different phases of sense gratification. That's all. Different phases of sense gratification. Dictations of illusory material energy in different phases. And a very funny thing is, serving the senses, we are never tired. That's so funny. We seem we never frustrated. Even though it never works out, we make one plan after another. And Prabhupada then makes another joke on us. Even though you may be tired, the illusion energy will not allow you to go. It perpetually forces you to do something without being satisfied. Perpetually forces us to do some foolish act. That is the so-called advancement. And there is no end to such sense gratificated business. Okay, that was one part, proposes our situation, and then he goes to the situation of pure devotee at the end. He says this is very nice, like a fire in a gunpowder. That once you light it, the bomb will blast. So once you become start pure devotion service, you'll end in the spiritual world. It cannot stop. Just like gunpowder, once you light, it has to boom. So that boom is going inside the spiritual world. It may take time, you put water on it and all, it may slow down the fire, but but it will explode one day. You can do some foolishness and keep it go slowly, but once you have started devotion service, the fortune is that one day you will enter the spiritual world. But if you can do it quickly, it is auspicious. And then Prabhupada is so attractive that even after we hear about little and Krishna, just like Shukdev Goswami heard about Krishna Leela, became mad after Krishna. So those people who are doing transcendental activities of the Lord, what will be their condition? Correct? Janma karma chame divyam. You even hear about Krishna Leela, you become liberated from this world. So Prabhupada says, what will be the condition of the people who actually have pastimes with Krishna? What will be their condition? Because of continuous personal contact, the condition is different. His remembrance of form, pastime are so attractive that he forgets all the forms of this world. And due to mature association in not out of contact. This is Srila Prabhupada's position. He is not out of contact with the Lord for a moment. Prabhupada revealed it many times that he is always in contact with Krishna. Okay. So he is writing this purpose, but he is not writing for somebody else. He is himself, the ecstasies of his heart he is revealing. He is not philosophizing when he is writing this. He is speaking his heart out. Many times devotee told Prabhupada, how does a pure devotee feel? Prabhupada, if you become pure devotee, you can see for yourself. Yeah, anybody wants to say something? Mataji?
No.
All their hearts are melting for him on the pot of attraction. They looked at him without blinking their eyes and they moved hidden there in perplexity. Yes, Mataji.
Krishna is naturally attractive for all living beings because he is the chief eternal among all eternals. He alone is the maintainer of many eternals. This is stated in Katha Upanishad, and thus one can obtain permanent peace and prosperity by a revival of one's eternal relationship with him, now forgotten under the spell of Maya, the illusory energy of the Lord. Once this relationship is slightly revived, the conditioned soul at once becomes free from the illusion of material energy and becomes mad after the association of the Lord. This association is made possible not only by personal contact with the Lord, but also by association with His name, fame, form, and quality. Srimad Bhagavatam trains the conditioned soul to this stage of perfection by submissive hearing from the pure devotee.
So nice this purport, benedictory purport. Somebody reads this purport, his life can become perfect. Prabhupada is saying Krishna is so naturally attractive. Krishna is the enchanter of the soul. And he is the chief among all the eternals. And not only that, Nitya Nityanam Eko Bhuvana Vidadati Kama. He alone is the maintainer of any eternals. Okay, this is from Katha Upanishad, the famous shloka. Nityo Nityanam Chaitanas Chaitananam. Mataji, you know the shloka?
Only 2 lines from.
Yeah, Nityo Nityanam Chaitanas Chaitananam Eko Bhuvana Vidadati Kama. There are, yes. ठीक है, permanent peace and proper, ठीक है, proper say even slightly it is revived. You start a spiritual life, the gunpowder starts burning, and then the conditioned soul become free from all illusion and become mad after the association of the Lord. In fact, many people will say we are mad only reading purport of the Bhagavatam, but it is like that. Rajesh, your friends really feeling now what you did for 1 hour? I was reading Bhagavatam purports. They will say you got mad or what? They think it is mad, but actually Krishna has made us mad. The female relatives with eyes are flooded with tears out of anxiety came out of the palace. They could not stop their tears. They could stop their tears only with great difficulty. They feared that the tears would cause misfortune at the time of departure. Yes, Mata.
There were hundreds of ladies in the palace of Hastinapur. All of them were affectionate to Krishna. All of them were relatives also. When they saw that Krishna was going away from the palace for his native place, they were very anxious for him, and as usual, tears began to roll down their cheeks. They thought at the same time that tears that moment might be a cause of misfortune for Krishna. Therefore, they wanted to check them. This was very difficult for them because the tears could not be checked. Therefore, they smeared their tears in their eyes and their hearts throbbed. Therefore, ladies who were the wives and daughters-in-law of those who died in the battlefield never came in direct contact with the Krishna. But all of them heard of him and his great activities, and thus they thought of him, talked of him, his name, fame, etc., and became affectionate also, like those who were in direct contact. Therefore, directly or indirectly, anyone who thinks of Krishna, talk of Krishna, or worships Krishna become attached to him. Because Krishna is absolute, there is no difference between his name, form, quality, etc. Our intimate relationship with our intimate relation with Krishna can be confidentially revived by our talking of, hearing of, or remembering him. It is so done due to spiritual potency.
So the revival of the soul is from the Chit Shakti of the Lord, correct? No, all knowledge potency. This gives us the whole remembrance of the Lord. So it is all Krishna's mercy. Atha Shri Krishna namadi na bhavet grayam indriye sevan mukhe jivado swayameva sprati yada. It awakens on its own. But just do what the Lord has told. You discuss about him, hear about him. And slowly the natural love for the Lord awakens in the heart. And this is, imagine, we can only dream of such situation when Krishna is going, tears and tears of separation for. We have no separation for Krishna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, no? He said, I'm not a devotee of Krishna. So somebody said, how do you say so? You're always crying. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, no, if I were the devotee, I should have died. How am I living? The very proof I am shamelessly living, even though there is no, I cannot see Krishna, means I am not a devotee. So these are the standards. Yes, Rajesh?
Yes, Prabhu.
You are able to hear? Understand anything you
Yes,
want to
yes, loud
ask?
and clear. I'm feeling guilty that I'm not able to read
Yeah,
today.
that's okay. That's okay. Yeah, that's okay. We will figure it out. We can solve it. Okay, now is it clear? This one was clear?
Very clear, Prabhu.
Very, very touching how they could feel so much pain. Prabhupada says there that many of these ladies had never seen Krishna face to face. But they heard about Krishna, and by hearing they got intense love for Krishna. There are many examples in Bhagavatam of those wives of the Brahmanas, Dvijabandhu's wives, correct? That is discussed. They also had never seen Krishna before, but they heard about him and developed love for Krishna. So Krishna is absolutely can develop love in any. Or the Lord is departing from the palace of Hastinapur with different types of drums like mridangas, dhols, nagaras, dhunduri, and dhundubi, and flutes of different types, the veenas, gomukha, bhiri, all sounded together to show him honor. When Prabhupada was in America, he did not carry mridanga. So public park, when he was doing kirtan, they gave him a small, small instrument like a small bongo, and Prabhupada played on it, gave some beat. And later Prabhupada used to laugh. He said some good goody. He didn't say don't do it. Good good. We didn't have mridanga also. Out of a loving desire to see the Lord, the royal ladies of the Kurus got up on the top of the palace, and smiling with affection and shyness, they showered flowers upon the Lord. Yes.
Shyness is a particular extra-natural beauty of fair sex, and it commands respect from the opposite sex. This custom was observed even during the days of Mahabharata, that is more than 5,000 years ago. It is only the less intelligent person, not well versed in the history of world, who say that the observation of separation of female from male is an introduction of Muhammad period in India. This incident from Mahabharata period proves definitely that the ladies of the palace observed strict parada, that is restricted association with men, and instead of coming down in open air where Lord Krishna and others were assembled, the ladies of the palace went up on the top of the palace and from there paid their respects to Lord Krishna by shower of flowers. It is definitely stated here that the ladies were smiling there on the top of the palace, checked by shyness. This shyness is a gift of nature to the fair sex, and it enhances their beauty and prestige, even if they are of less important family or even if they are less attractive. We have practical experience of this fact. A sweeper woman commands the respect of many respectable gentlemen simply by manifesting a lady's shyness. Half-naked ladies in the street do not command any respect, but a shy sweeper's wife commands respect from all. Human civilization, as conceived of by the sages of India, is to help one free himself from the conditions of illusion. The material beauty of woman is an illusion because actually the body is made of earth, water, fire, air, etc. But because there is association of the living spark with the matter, it appears to be beautiful. No one is attracted by an earthen doll, even if it is most perfectly prepared to attract the attention of others. The dead body has no beauty because no one will accept the dead body of the so-called beautiful woman. Therefore, the conclusion is that the spirit spark is beautiful, and because the soul's beauty and because of the soul's beauty, one is attracted by the beauty of the outward body. The Vedic wisdom therefore forbids us to be attracted by false beauty. But because we are now in the darkness of ignorance, the Vedic civilization allows very restricted mixing of women and men. They say that the woman is considered to be the fire and the man is considered to be the butter. The butter must melt in association with fire and therefore they may be brought together only when it is necessary. And shyness is a check to the unrestricted mixing. It is nature's gift and it must be utilized.
So very nice purport. As a practical dealing, Prabhupada gives an example. This example you heard where it talks about the sweeper lady.
First time.
You heard this example? No, first time. See what
But
happened.
observed, yes.
Prabhupada says that he was sitting with his friend and one sweeper. In his house there was a sweeper lady. She came, but she was not sweeping. And she was standing in the room in one corner. So Prabhupada said, we understood that she is feeling, how can I sweep and two men are here? So he got up and left. Prabhupada said, we could respect the lady. There's a respect. You understand, no? Even now in India it happens, a sweeper woman has come, we
Yes.
get up and go away, let us sweep the room. So Prabhupada said, this gives respect. There's so much respect we had for that lady. And nowadays, which is very common, out no shyness, they walk in the road. Prabhupada has seen that, half naked. So Prabhupada said, what is this? This is not very good. So this is. At that time, Arjuna, the great warrior and conqueror of sleep, who was the intimate friend of the most beloved Supreme Lord, took up an umbrella which had a handle of jewels and was embroidered with lace and pearls.
Gold, jewels, pearls, and valuable stones were used in the luxurious royal ceremonies. They are all natural gifts and are produced by hills, oceans, etc. by the order of the Lord when man does not waste his valuable time in producing unwanted things in the name of necessities. By so-called development of industrial enterprises, they are now using pots of gutta-percha instead of metals like gold, silver, brass, and copper. They are using margarine instead of purified butter, and one-fourth of the city population has no shelter.
So Prabhupada said, look at the opulence of the time, They were so opulent in the Vedic time because nature was supplying everything. And Prabhupada says they were eating in all golden plates and now they eat in, what is that? You read
Rub-
this Gutta Percha. What is this
Gutta
Gutta
percha is
Percha?
used in root canal filling. It's a rubber-like material, rubber basically.
Yeah, it's a natural product of the
It's a
tree.
rubber. It's like a rubber.
Yeah,
It gets hardened later.
yeah, it's insulating material. It is used in so many places. Gutta Percha. I said they are eating on, instead of pot, they have Gutta Percha. Uddhava and Satyaki began to fan the Lord with decorated fans, and the Lord, in the matter of Madhu, as the master of Madhu, seated on scattered flowers, commanded them along the road. So he was being, flowers was being thrown from above by the ladies. This is proper time also for the same culture. Prabhupada used to enter the temple, you see all the ladies will be on the top and they will throwing flowers. So many nice videos are there. Manoj, Rajesh, you have seen any video like that?
Um, Sorry, Prabhu. No, I've not seen it.
Yeah, daily you should see half an hour Prabhupada moving, Prabhupada
I'll
walking.
do that, Prabhu. I'll
Yeah,
do
then
that,
it'll be
Prabhu.
like
Yeah.
so nice
I'll
to
do
see.
that.
So nice to see Prabhupada. They were so fortunate, they could see Prabhupada. Where the earth, such a devotees are very rarely descended on earth. Very, very rare. Very rare. Okay, so anyway, they had the pleasure and they could offer flowers. We can only hear about it. So Uddhava and Satyaki began to fall, and the master of Madhu seated on scattered, seated as if seated on scattered flowers. So much flowers were thrown, commanded them along the road. Krishna is the enchanter of the soul. It was being heard here and there that the benediction being paid to Krishna were neither befitting or unbefitting because they're all for the absolute. Was now playing the part of a human being.
At places there were sounds of Vedic benediction aiming at the personality of Godhead Krishna. The benedictions were fitting in the sense that the Lord was playing the part of a human being as if a cousin of Maharaj Yudhishthir. But they were also unfitting because the Lord is absolute and he has nothing to do with any kind of material relatives. He is nirguna, or there are no material qualities in him, but he is full of transcendental qualities. In the transcendental world, there is nothing contradictory, whereas in the relative world, everything has its opposite. In the relative world, white is the opposite conception of black, but in the transcendental world, there is no distinction between white and black. Therefore, the sounds of benedictions uttered by the learned Brahmanas here and there appear to be contradictory in relationship with the absolute person, but when they are applied to the absolute person, they lose all contradiction and become transcendental. One example may clear this idea. Lord Shri Krishna is sometimes described as a thief. He is very famous among his pure devotees as Makhan Chor. He used to steal butter from the houses of the neighbors at Vrindavan in his early age. Since then, he is famous as a thief. But in spite of his being famous as a thief, he is worshipped as a thief. Whereas in mundane world, a thief is punished and is never praised. Since he is the absolute personality of Godhead, everything is applicable to him, and still, in spite of all contraindications, he is the supreme personality of Godhead.
So these benedictions are offered. Now he's a Kshatriya, okay, you can benedict him, bless him. Oh, you will be very opulent, you will be very comfortable, these are all benedictions. So it is okay, you can offer him, but we need to look deeper. He's the supreme personality of Godhead. It's unbefitting. What you are blessing Krishna? He is the already, Prabhupada said, the blessed Lord. He's already eternally blessed with all the opulence. There's what blessing you can do. He's already blessed. But still, so therefore it is contradictory. So Prabhupada said that's how it is. Metal word is contradictory. White and black is opposite of each other. But spiritual word, white and black, there is no difference. Now this is for the scientist devotee to understand. White and black, there is no difference. In the sense that, here in this word, somewhere there is light, somewhere there is no light, white and black. You say you can understand Krishna only when you are free from duality. Te dvanda moha nirmuktam. So white and black is one sense a duality here. Spiritual world, there is no duality. Everything is effulgent. There is no darkness in the spiritual world in that sense. Okay. Thief, yeah, Krishna is known as a thief. So this is another contradictory thing. Thief is punished, but Krishna is worshipped. Why was Krishna stealing the butter from the neighbor's place? What was the idea? What was he doing? Because Krishna does everything, it is wonderful. Rajesh, why he was stealing the butter? What is the benefit?
Prabhu, I mean, my thought process is that probably he was basically helping, the neighbors to basically get rid of their, it was giving them an opportunity to give him service.
Correct, correct. He is
That's my
eating
thought
their
process.
food, Yeah, not only is eating from his mother, he's eating from their house.
Yes.
Mataji, anything to add? Why was he stealing?
His Gopa friends, with his
They were very
Gopa
greedy.
friends, they even they love to had.
Okay. So for the sake of his devotees, he
Yeah,
was getting more butter every day.
yeah.
Yeah. And anyway, everybody used to
He
enjoy
used
it.
to give it to monkeys as well.
Yeah, yeah. I think everybody was enjoying, even the people
Yeah.
who use butter was stealing. See, that time everybody will have how many? Krishna and 9 lakh cows. You cannot just imagine amount of butter in their home. It was
And there will
opulent.
be different varieties, like the different taste in terms of, you know.
Yeah, yeah, different houses. Yeah, Krishna is an enjoyer. He's an enjoyer of it. And also we see when Krishna is born in the ceremony, they throw butter at each other. That is there, no? In the Krishna book, if you read, it
Mm.
says the ceremony was there, and the ceremony was concluding. All the people at Krishna's birth ceremony, when he was throwing butter on each other. Right? So Prabhupada says, see how opulent they are. Today, imagine a ceremony with a throw butter. You have to bring 1 lakh rupees. You have to spend. It's so expensive. In my India, it is now 300, 400 rupees kilo. You have to bring some 100 kilo over. You'll be bankrupt next year. But they were so opulent, so opulent. Prabhupada also talks once they were in Parikrama. That time also, say 60, 70 years ago, also India was not so poor. So they went to an house, and with Bhaksanda Prabhupada, the team was going. So they went to an house and asked mother, can you give us little milk? So she gave one bucket of milk. They all drank, one glass. So they asked, should he pay you something? For only this little milk? It's so little. Today you take one bucket from somebody, he will charge you like 1,000 rupees. For such little milk you want to pay me? No, no, no problem. So this is a real opulence actually. People had so much milk and so much grain. We'll go till 12 o'clock, Mataji. It's already 12. Chalo, this 20th, we do the last. So 20
Yes,
shlokas,
Prabhu.
finish almost. Absorbed in the thought of the transcendental qualities of the Lord, who is glorified in select poetry, the ladies on the roof of all the houses of the Hastinapur began to talk of him. And this talk was more attractive than the hymns of the Vedas.
In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said that in all Vedic literatures, the goal is personality of Godhead Sri Krishna. Factually, the glories of the Lord are depicted in such literature as the Vedas, Ramayana, and Mahabharata, and in Bhagavatam they were specifically mentioned in respect to the Supreme Lord. Therefore, while the ladies on the top of the houses in the capital of the kings of Kuru dynasty were talking about the Lord, their talk was more pleasing than the Vedic hymns. Anything sung in the praise of the Lord is Shruti Mantra. There are songs of Thakur Narottam Das and the acharyas in one of the acharyas in Gaudiya Sampradaya composed in simple Bengali language. But Thakur Vishwanath Chakravarti, another very learned acharya of the same sampradaya, has approved the songs by Thakur Narottam Das to be as good as Vedic mantras. And this is so because of the subject matter. Language is immaterial, but the subject matter is important. The ladies who were all absorbed in the thought and actions of the Lord developed the consciousness of Vedic wisdom by the grace of the Lord. And therefore, all such ladies may not have been very learned scholars in Sanskrit or otherwise, still whatever they spoke was the more attractive than Vedic hymns. The Vedic hymns in the Upanishad are sometimes indirectly directed to the Supreme Lord, but the talks of the ladies were directly spoken of the Lord, and thus they were more pleasing. The ladies' talks appear to be more valuable than the learned Brahmanas' benedictions.
But the talks of the ladies are directly spoken of the Lord, and this is the more pleasing to the heart.
So, 5 more minutes, yeah.
So learned scholars, they may speak, but ladies were directly speaking of the personality of Godhead. So that's very pleasing. And Narottam Das Thakur is a great acharya. We sing every day night that song. Radha Krishna Prana Mora. It's all songs, many composed by him. Very beautiful song. Even the Gaur Aarti, Kiba Jayo, what is that last line? Oh, the Kiba Jayo, that is by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. No, no, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Karo Maharaj. That is Narottam.
Yeah.
And that is the previous one was Kiba Jayo Gaur Aarti is by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So Narottam Das Thakur doesn't write in a scholarly language like some other acharyas of the parampara. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is a disciple of a very great scholar. Okay, you see in Bhagavatam many places Prabhupada quotes his purports, his comments in Sanskrit. But Prabhupada says his disciple said, "My God, my guru his every word is like a shastra." Okay, so the Prabhupada says any sung in the praise of the Lord, the Shruti mantra. Because so the ladies may not be speaking in Sanskrit, may not be so scholarly quoting from Upanishads and Puranas, but because they had love for Krishna, whatever they spoke to Krishna was more pleasing to Krishna. Because here the Brahmanas are offering benedictions, we heard that, correct? And now these ladies in the talk were talking among themselves about Krishna. Krishna is so beautiful, what he did. And Krishna was more pleased by that sweet. That's how the Jagannatha deity was formed. No? You know this pastime?
No, Prabhu.
Who knows how Jagannatha deity's shape came?
Not
And
me,
Payal
Prabhu.
Mataji, you don't know the pastime?
Not heard about it, but not in the memory.
Yeah, see what happened? The devotees in Vrindavan are talking about Krishna and Balaram. And they had kept somebody to guard, see that Krishna Balaram doesn't enter this place. Something they were talking about Krishna Balaram Leela. And they were not there, Krishna Balaram. So somehow they appeared in the scene, and inside they were hearing them talking about them with love, about Krishna Balaram Leela. And hearing, they became so ecstatic because they were speaking out of love, no, for Krishna Balaram, that they took that form of big eyes, they were in ecstasy. So what happened? Subhadra's sister also saw them. She also took that ecstatic form. At that time, Narada came to pass there, and Narada was stunned. The Lord taken that beautiful form. I request him, my Lord, please appear in this world in this form. We like you to be worshipped in this form. Okay, that's what I remember. Maybe we can quote the source and this. So now after this will be the prayers of ladies on the top of the roof, and the chapter will almost closes there. Okay, just few words of that. So next time we talk, what the ladies are talking, because it was more attractive to Krishna than the chanting of the Vedic mantras. This was more pleasing to Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki,
Jai.
Jai.
Srimad Bhagavatam ki.
Jai.
Jai.
Now, this was nice. Was it fine? This using this Mataji? This.
Yes, Prabhu.